So, when we last left our group, we had gone through and been magically teleported to a fairly uncharted territory for you guys down in the southern part of our continent. The party gathered themselves after being scattered through a somewhat, and we're not going to call it a botched teleportation, but it did not go as smoothly as when you had gotten to from the cave back to the front of the tavern. So you guys found everybody. In the process, you saw a red dragon swoop overhead and then fly off into the distance. Took up camp at a cliff overhang in kind of a wooded grove, at which point a trio of boars came barreling down at the party, to which Siona graciously yelled at them as loud as she possibly could using her Barker's Loudbox charm and frightened them away. At that point, Thongrim bumbled his way into the group with munching on what he had foraged in the forest, graciously offering them to you guys, and, well, Eldon succumbed to the wonderful effects of the giggleberries. And then you guys navigated your way through the forest and found the township of Coatalaco. And you now have a map of that town, a representation of it in front of you. There were a few leads that you saw. You saw the Ecleros ward, which is down to the southeast of this map. The Waukeen Temple in the center left. And then the clumsy magpie sits right to your right. It's in the center of town, right to the east of that fountain. So with that, I give it to you.
Well, I say we head off over to the temple.
Yeah, I think we were looking to get some information about the area, and possibly even the dragon.
All right. So the time of day, just to give you a frame of reference, we had that short rest, and I'd say it probably from that long rest overnight. We'll say it took you a couple of hours, so we're saying maybe pre-lunch. So we're going to head over to the Waukeen Temple. As you walk in to the Waukeen Temple, you do see that it is more opulent than most other temples that you have been entered into. Mainly because you have discussed it and you discovered that the Waukeen is the god of merchants and of wealth, and they take this to heart. Though it does seem to be that this temple has been built in the recent past. Say within the past 5 or 10 years. You don't really know exactly. But you see some Ecleros, kind of what you would say they're walking around, some gnomes, humans here and there. And so you walk into this temple, you do see some money changers, and you see the altars where people are praying to Waukeen.
Is there anybody conducting a service?
It does not appear that there's a service going on. You do see a fairly well-to-do looking aristocrat, a human aristocrat, kind of off in the distance, over to, we'll say, in one of the meeting rooms there are some Ecleros congregated together. It looks like there is a female one in her brown plumage speaking to the group. and towards the front, it appears to be guarding the front door at the time as a male rock gnome.
I guess we're all going to stand here and just stare at the gnome.
I will walk up to the gnome and say, "Ho there. What seems to be the current events lately?"
Well, we have just taken. Well, first, before I get into that, warm greetings to the Temple of Waukeen. My name is Zaire. I guard this temple during the day, so please welcome to our temple. And if you wish to pay tribute, our offerings, we have several offering collections throughout the temple.
Oh, I would be more than happy to deliver a small offering.
It's a joyous day. We do have a new shipment of fresh ore coming in from our mines. And as it stands, we are looking at, we're finishing up our meetings, and I know that you are new to this, but we are very proud of this. We are looking at expanding our mining operations here in the town, and I'm very excited about it. Though, we did get a small snag this morning, as some of our demolition engineers have come back, and they seem to have run into a bit of a problem with the new mine.
She's filling out the character sheet, spamming things.
That's fine.
Wouldn't happen to be that big-ass dragon, would it?
Oh, we have seen that big-ass dragon, as you call it, only a few times here, but no, it does not seem to be. That is not it. From what we understand, it appears to be a kind of a yellowish creature. It has big, large, pointy mandible things and claws. It kind of ran off our group, and it's kind of put a bugger in our plans, if you would.
Oh.
But if you know anybody that might be able to help take care of this situation, you might be handsomely rewarded.
Oh, no, I'm afraid we don't know anybody. However, good news is I rest assured that we could possibly be that group. But some other group, no, I don't know.
Oh, do tell.
We're travelers. We don't really know anyone in the area.
Well, then allow me to be the first to welcome you to our fair town. Although I will say, Waukeen, he has been a just god, but he does not take kindly to shenanigans here, so please keep them to a minimum. Otherwise, you may get a bit of a shock, would I say, from our protecting wards.
Well, of course. Oh, hey, Thongum, remind me the name of that place again that you like to go to dinner?
The Continental.
Sure.
The champagne there is terrific.
I do like a good champagne. So, as a good little turtle dove, we do not have a Continental here, though we do have the Clumsy Magpie just across the way. And they do serve a mean drink. Willow Rush there, she does treat us with good graces. If you do, tell her that I sent. If you do go over there, tell her that I sent you her way.
We will be sure to do that. And remind me his name and the name he just said again, or can you spell it?
Sure. His name is Zaire, a rock gnome. and you get that the innkeeper's name is Willow Rush.
Well, we will be sure to tell Willow Rush that Amzer sent us.
Well, very good. Now, I mean, I hate to impose, but you said that you might be interested in taking care of this situation. Can I put you down for it? Can I count on you, or am I being a little too presumptuous?
Well, you see here, we're looking for somebody, but he wouldn't be probably your average run-of-the-mill guy. Big old human guy, I think. Probably big old beard, kind of hard to describe. Probably has a bunch of armor, kind of looking like a paladin-y type guy. Probably really old or been here a while.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. The only person I can think of that might kind of fit that description, he's not super old there, but it's old Reinhardt Bennecut. He's actually that guy right over there, back there in the kind of the regal garb. He's been around here quite a while. He's one of the ministers of this fair town. But he doesn't really have a big bushy beard. I mean, it's just what you would say. I mean, not by gnome or dwarven standards, of course. It's just a puny human beard.
Well, I'll make you a deal. We'll talk to him, and based on what he has to say about what we need to hear, we'll come back and maybe solve your yellowy mandible problem.
Well, that's good. I have a feeling he may have some. Yes, that sounds good to me. He hasn't heard the news yet, but he will probably be very interested in that. But yes, he's just right over there. Should be more than happy to speak to you.
So I guess we'll say a quick farewell to Amzer and walk in the direction that he pointed towards.
Okay. No. Her, Siona's evil ringing bells have not gone off. It seems everything seems to be in good or neutral order here. No evil ring-a-dings at the moment. And as far as her Iron Song senses, no, there's nothing has pinged off of her yet. And how do you do that, the emote thing again?
/EM.
/E, thank you. You both hear those who have thrown some coppers in the collection plates. A small, what sounds like a hallelujah chorus, but it's a very faint, kind of like a cha-ching sound off in the distance. It appears Waukeen appreciates your offering. So you walk up towards Reinhardt Bennecut, and he's sitting there. He's talking with his hands flailing. He appears to be a hand talker. He's in good graces. That's how I speak. He's talking to a few of the other who appear to be the other councilman of the town, and as he's in mid-sentence, he kind of looks up as y'all approach, and you see him kind of wave off his people, and he breaks away and comes to speak to you. May I help you?
Oh, good day. My name is Raziel Vantanian, and these are some compatriots of mine. We are just travelers. We hail from a guild in Aldenburg, by way of a small place known as Ecleros. I'm sure you've never heard of it. And I kind of stare at him a little too awkwardly as I say Ecleros.
Ecleros, not so much. But Aldenburg, yes, I am very well acquainted with that town. I do go there several times a year in order to take part of some of the finery. But this Ecleros place sounds exotic. How would one get to there?
Well, it's an isolated place, I suppose. By large boat, the larger the better, would be more convenient. Perhaps a bigger boat that could carry many, many people would be the most efficient. Still sort of awkwardly staring.
You wouldn't happen to have any trade contacts, would you? If I might be so bold, I'm always one to look out for a new deal. Obviously, it favors my deity very much if I can bring more wealth to our fine town here.
I'm afraid I don't have any contacts at the moment. However, if I do find myself back home, I will certainly let you know. Do I believe a damn thing he's saying?
Roll an insight check. Yes, you do. You do believe a damn thing he says.
Okay. Yes, of course. I know trade here is very important. And I've heard from your esteemed colleague at the temple that, of course, you're having some issues with the mine operation at the moment. Is that true?
Well, I've heard nothing about our primary mine. Everything seems to be in tip-top order there. As a matter of fact, we were just discussing ways of improving our security around there. You must be... were you speaking with Amzair?
Yes, I do believe that was the gentleman's name.
He must be speaking of our expansion plans. I must go and talk to him about that. He didn't make the status meeting this morning. I'm very disappointed. But clearly there has been news.
Apparently the dead have risen and now walk the earth.
Oh my! The dead, you say? Certainly that would have caught our attention. You see, he's...
Or it was a monster, or it could have been orcs. Honestly, when gnomes talk, I completely phase out.
Well...
Yeah, he never listens to me.
Oh, excuse me. I didn't see you down there.
See, it's a completely common problem.
Hey, you're not that much taller than me.
But he is whiter.
That he is.
That's a good one.
It's about girth.
Laughter. I love it. Ha ha.
Innuendo.
So you run this here town that's all these things. We're looking for, a guy.
Well, Mr. Dorf, I'm going to have to say you're going to need to be a little more specific because we do have lots of, air quotes, guys around here. Some birds, too, if you've noticed.
Yeah, definitely not the parrots. He's a human. And He's a good friend of me. Our dear friend, Mr. Billy LaCroix.
Huh. LaCroix, is it? I'm not sure I'm aware of that. As he writes this, he pulls out a little notepad and writes it down. A little too conspicuously.
That's Lorix. Leroy.
Thank you. You wouldn't have happened to have eaten paint chips as a child, would you?
Only on Sundays.
Ah, yes. And he looks at Raziel and he's like, he's a bit touched sometimes, isn't he?
Well, you see, he works at a blacksmith, and occasionally he tastes the lead for quality control purposes.
Not what I would recommend based on the experts around here, but to each his own.
Yes, indeed. He is our special guy.
So by chance, you wouldn't... I see that you've come from Oldenburg and you say you work in a blacksmith, eh?
I am the purveyor of Bloodbath and Beyond, the finest arms and weapon shop this side of that way.
Ah, I have heard of Bloodbath and Beyond. Perhaps you might be of service. I apologize for being a little crass and having a laugh at your expense. As I did say, laughter is one of my favorite things. Ha ha ha. Would you happen to have any experience with security?
Would you say all that again? My kids, the imaginary kids I have in my head, were screaming.
Ah, yes. He's heard of Oldenburg, heard of Bloodbath and Beyond, wants to know if you offer services in the security consulting areas.
Only in so much that I provide those people with things that they stab other people with. But I suppose for the right price, if we were heading in a way that the person or the thing was heading that you want us to guard, then I think in theory we might help you get there.
Except for maybe that dragon we saw.
Ah, yes. People keep speaking of this dragon. It's only been here once or twice. It's not that it hasn't done anything to us. Pish posh. It's not worth my troubles. But you see here, our mining operation, our primary mine, has been here for the past couple of years, and we think it's time to probably beef it up a little bit. We do have some walls and built in several guard towers, but we've recently struck. Well, maybe shouldn't oversell it too much, but it's time for us to increase our protection there, and we're, looking for some insight.
Well, I suppose if the price is right, then perhaps we might be what you're looking for.
I believe fair payment can be made.
How long would this contract be?
Well, right now we are looking for a mere consultancy to put together a plan, a phase 0, if you would. Requirements gathering and putting a rough order of magnitude.
Ah, okay.
Because we have not yet implemented the Scrum process here in Coatalaco, but we've heard good things.
Well, the best way to know where you're going is to know where you've been. So, Do you think you might be able to point us in the direction of your eldest living townsperson? Or more importantly, the person who has been in this town the longest?
Who would have the best knowledge of the history of the area? Yes.
Well, I'd like to count myself upon those chosen few. But there may be some others. So I did come to this area of some years ago, with a glint in my eye and an pickaxe, if you would, in my hand. Came out here prospecting. Now, my father looked at me with much disappointment as I opted to go out on my own, but I wanted to make my own money and not take as much of his, although I would gladly take it. So I took my father's money and I contracted out some miners, and we came out here and we struck it rich in the Mithril mines. And as you look around, you see the fruits of those labors. We have the fine town of Coatalaco, who is growing even at a monthly rate, at a daily rate. More and more people come to our fair land.
Well, from what I know from Mithril, it is no common mineral, is it?
Oh, no, and that's frankly, if I can speak just between you and us, you look like a trustworthy bunch of group. He seems to look kindly on y'all. You see, it is fairly rare in these parts, and it's what keeps us in the good graces of the capital.
Of the who again?
Of the capital. I'm sure by now you've seen the church and its and their priests.
Oh, yes.
We have cultivated a good bit of trade, if you would, with the church, and they tend to, with our supply, tend to turn a blind eye to us.
So I see the Church of Bane's influence is far and wide, of course, yes.
Oh, but we dare not go against our Lord Waukeen. We still worship only he.
And how did they let you get away with that? This is the first place we've come across that doesn't have a temple to Bane in it.
Well, Mithril speaks, my friend. Mithril speaks.
You must have quite a negotiator then.
As we see, we managed to strike a bargain with them, provided that we supply them with mithril. They will let us do as we may, which is why security is a good in our minds. We need to make sure that our golden goose, if you would. Because mithril goose just doesn't have the same flavor. Our golden goose stays well protected. So, we are willing to, if you can assist us in that, it would be a big help. Otherwise, we may not have this. He looks over his shoulders. Just making sure, surveying the crowd, making sure that there's no other prying eyes. Make sure that this stays a Waukeen Temple.
Well, I certainly don't speak for all of my party here, but again, it seems like a reasonable task. If, again, of course, the price is right. Nothing gets you nothing.
And part of the security would be around the mine that Amzir has mentioned to us.
Oh no, he's working on the special expansion project. We are more concerned about our primary mines.
And have there been any incidents recently in the primary mines?
Oh no, we have not logged a day. No incidents that I can see, that I can remember. And I do say that I have been here many a year, as I was one of the first in this area, and I don't recall any incidents.
So what are you suddenly scared of?
Well, as I said, the vein appears to have been mightily productive here, and I'm just making sure, trying to cross all the I's and dot all the T's.
We go for the obvious problem or the shady security job? I feel like the obvious problem is probably the better go-to, but curiosity is also getting the better of me. Like, what is he hiding?
Agreed. I think maybe should we look at the primary mines to get an idea how they're laid out before we even try and look at the other one?
Mr. Benekitz, the primary mines and the expansion mines, would you say that the layout and the excavations are similar between the two?
Oh, no. One mine has been fairly well lit. This other has been for more excavation and exploration. It appears, again, I don't exactly know what Amzir has discovered, but it seems to be, we are looking to expand our operations. So we've had our engineers looking in different places. And we did find a fairly decent, what we think is a good find, but apparently something has happened.
So he's basically saying the expansion mine, Amzir's expansion mines are completely different. He doesn't know much about it.
Yes.
I'm leaning towards the expansion mine to learn what's really going on in the main mine.
I'm fine with that.
Okay. It's
Sure.
Mr. Benekitz, perhaps we will take you up on this job. However, I must insist that we get perhaps a better idea of what sort of operation you're being run. And I feel, Mr. Amzer's, no offense to you personally, I feel his expansion mines have a problem that require more immediate resolution, and I feel we would know what we were facing with your security job after we've taken care of that for him. Surely you understand.
Oh, absolutely. If there's loss of life at peril or at hand, obviously, we haven't had an incident yet at our mines. We are just looking at trying to increase. So yes, I completely understand. We'll call this a bit of a job interview, shall we?
Sounds good to me. Thank you very much for your information. Surely we will be in touch soon.
I look forward to it.
And I guess we head back to Amzair?
Sure. So, I see that you have spoken to Lord Bennicut. Good old chap, would you say?
Interesting chap, to say the least, yes.
Ha ha!
Seems like he might have an ongoing job for us, but I gotta say, I like the known better than the unknown, and it seems like your issue requires something of more immediate assistance. I believe we might be able to overcome the problems you're having.
Ah, very good. All right. Well, from what I've heard from my engineers, apparently the cave that they have been exploring has awakened a bit of a something.
How far from town is this cave?
Oh, it's within a couple of hours. It's not too far from here. We are in some of the foothills of the mountains around here, so it's not terribly far at all. But it appears that our workers are refusing to get back to work until whatever this creature has been taken care of. So, if y'all are ready to go, I'm ready to go right now and point you in the right direction.
Well, yes, having a guide would be quite useful. But again, I feel like the subject of compensation is one that we have been sort of jumping over the past couple of sentences, yes?
Oh, man, yes, you're straight to it. How about this? Where are my notes? My notes have disappeared.
And I don't think we'd be ready right away. We still haven't settled into town and gotten a room.
Oh, by all means, you do need to go see Willow Rush over at the Clumsy Magpie.
But tell you what, perhaps we'll go find our bedding for the next few days. And while we do that, you come up with that magical number.
Well, I do have some stuff at the ready. There will be some gold, how about some gold trade bars, and some of our finest Araby ale. We've got several gallons. It's the only place that you'll find it. And for your trouble, I think we also may have a couple of magical items for you.
Well, I mean, I hate to be this guy, but coming from a little bit of a business thing, you did say the mine is shut down. So if we take our sweet time and get back to you in 3 days, it sounds like the price will go up a little bit.
Could be, or perhaps somebody else will take care of the problem for us.
Hey, all the better.
Our second shift may be coming around.
I'm pretty sure you don't even have a first shift there, buddy.
Hey now. Easy. It's still a fresh wound. Well, since I can't find my sheet of paper here, I know one of them was a bag of holding, and there was some magical wand, and something else. Because the piece of paper has flown away. But anyway, there you go.
Well, I'll tell you what. Give us. It sounds good. I think we'll have huddle up over the terms over the next hour as we get our bedding, and then we'll return shortly. How does that sound?
That sounds great.
Okie dokie, bye.
Ta-ta.
Do you want to go to the inn, Elvin?
Oh, yes, I think we should go to the inn and prepare ourselves for our journey.
Sounds good to me.
Okie day. 1 second, please. And you hear the ka-ching. The other thing was a set of pipes. A magical set of pipes. That was the other thing.
Pipes?
Yes.
Like smoking pipes?
As in like a set of pan flutes. A set of pipes. A musical instrument of magical origin.
Oh, I was hoping they were for plumbing, but I guess those are cool too.
I was hoping for this type we could smoke.
Well, I did not know that game. This was where this game was going, but
I was hoping to make my own bidet, but okay.
bidet to you too, sir. All right, so you're going to go across the way to the Clumsy Magpie. Yes?
Got this one?
That would be the one. Yes, right there, right in the middle there. Looks like an inn. It's got a chimney there that's billowing out smoke. You see plenty of patrons going in and out. As you walk in, there are many, many people are eating and drinking and general cavorting. Behind the bar, you do see a small human woman taking her orders and rushing around, and it looks like she knows what she's doing. She's been apparently throwing drinks for a while. You assume that this is the Willow Rush that Amzair had told you about. So I assume y'all are doing something in the inn?
I would like to get some rooms.
Yeah. Rooms for 5 and a... Does this horse need a stable?
Yes. Well, I probably
yes.
could wander around.
Yeah, is it an actual horse or is it a magical apparition?
It's a smart horse. I mean, I could choose if it's Celestial Fae or something else, Fiend. So I chose Fae.
It's kind of like Find Familiar, but she can't summon it at will.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can dismiss it at will, but then has to cast a spell to get it back.
Gotcha.
But
So
you can
stable.
communicate with it at distance, though, right?
I can communicate telepathically up to a mile.
Yeah.
All right, so we have a 4-legged hoot. Got it.
Basically.
That can actually attack.
Yeah. A better hoot plus plus. I like it. Alrighty, so you wander up. Corn wanders up to the bar, and up to Willow Rush as she has a glass in hand, is wiping it down. Welcome to the Clumsy Magpie. My name is Willow Rush. How may I help you?
Yes, I believe we're in the market for, I guess, 5 rooms.
Oh, very good. You're in luck. We do have several vacancies. We'll say it's 1 gold a night. How long will you be staying with us?
That we don't know. Can we pay on a night-to-night basis?
We're actually here on behalf of the Church of Waukeen to clear the mines. He said just tell him to put it on the tab there.
You don't say. Who? You don't say. Who would have said that? Who were you speaking?
A tiny rock and roll gnome.
Ooh, that's interesting. Roll me a deception check, please. Well, I say, it's very unusual of the temple to give out free room and board. But if, was it Amzir that you were speaking of?
Yeah, the head guard over there. He said the mine's shut down, you're losing money a day, so you gotta do what you gotta do.
I see. Well, very well then. We will say the first night's on the house, and I will clear it with Amzir when I next see him. But we'll call the first night on us, and for that I'll also give you up a few goblets of our ale here, and our Araby ale. It's quite famous in these parts. And we'll get your lunch on us, too.
Oh. Thank you for your graciousness.
Well, very nice to have you here at the Clumsy Magpie. We always welcome new guests to our lovely town. Now, is there anything else that I may be able to serve up for you?
What kind of rumors are going around this town?
What was that? You broke up on me, sir.
I was just saying I think I'm good.
Oh. Saying, well, what's the word in this town as we're traveling through?
Oh, the words, there are many, and there are quite a few words that I overhear here in the inn. I do, fresh off the racks, there's trouble at the expansion mines, but I'm sure you've already heard about that. But if you really want to know something that sounds a bit odd, or just a wee bit odd, this guy came in here a few weeks ago, and he told me about this. Get this is a load of coke, but he talked about this temple, and the inside was this monumental serpent that had these scales, and he said you could put the money on the scales, and something strange would happen. But this guy has been known to be a bit of a drunk, and so don't really believe a word he says. You never heard of anything like that. But you never know. I thought it was interesting. It was a little funny, so I'll tell you about it.
It does seem strange. He's an out-of-towner? Or from a local?
Oh, he comes through these parts every so often. Wouldn't call him a regular, but enough for me to know that after a few pints, he gets a little knackered. For all I know, he could have just been dreaming it.
All of those terrible serpent temples, though. There's so many. Which one, though?
Serpent temples? You've heard of serpent temples? Do tell. I'm always looking for a new story.
I could have sworn you said a temple with serpent scales or something.
Well, that's what he was telling me about, but you sounded like you knew of other serpent temples. Maybe you can corroborate. Because right now, I think he's full of coke.
Well, I'll just have to meet this man in person to gauge his coke level. Where is he?
Well, he ran out a few days ago. I suspect we'll see him a couple of days from now. He's a short little man, gnomish if you would. It's about that wee little person size down there.
Hey, now.
Well, it's true. You are wee.
Don't suppose you caught his name, did you?
I did. 1 second. Ah, yes, Leskin. Little gnomish fella. He's a bit of a scoundrel, bit of a drunk. But yes, he comes through here every so often.
Leskin?
Aye, Leskin.
And you say he's a gnome, such as Amzai or myself.
Unless he's some dragon that's cast some sort of spell on himself, he certainly looks like a gnome to me.
Now, wait. Dragon? Why would you say such a thing?
Did you not hear the children's stories of the dragons, the shape-changing dragons? It's common knowledge around here. I mean, it's like saying something about the abominable snowman.
We just saw a dragon fly overhead. Earlier today.
Well, that has been quite the hullabaloo around here. Everybody's up in arms about this dragon. And again, we've only seen it once or twice. I don't really take too much of it. I mean, dragons do exist in this world, although, albeit this is the first one that's been so close to Coatalaco. But it seems mere coincidence. Mere coincidence.
The soldiers they used to travel with, they spoke of the dragons of Bahamut, I believe. They apparently lived among the humans, but no one I know has ever met them. I just assumed it was folklore.
I would say the same. I've never met one that I know of in person, but I can't say I wouldn't mind. Quite a story that I could tell my patrons. But
that time a dragon visited in the guise of a gnome would be quite the story.
it would be quite the story. And outlandish, mind you, but I mean, it would be. I have a feeling I could get a few coins in my tip jar for that one. But I will tell you, the going lore around here, though, is of the Stone Temple. They say, now granted, I have not been there, but they say it is home. Thank you, kind sir. Your next drink's on me.
The first ones were too.
That's why I said the next one. And if you play your cards right, the third one may be too. She gives you a wink and a smile, if you know what I mean. But the Stone Temple, again, this is what I've heard recently, is the home of an ancient god, a vampire god. Now that is a story I'd like to hear.
That's a story I would like to hear as well.
Now, people have been looking for how to get into the temple for quite some time. But they say, if you can find your way in, there is the treasure of the vampire god of Azot Zalaha. Now, I only have it on good word from fellow travelers. I've heard it more than once now. But that's all I've got. I mean, these are very interesting stories.
You know, that sounds so interesting. I'm going to need the spelling.
And she picks out a piece of paper and scrawls this word on a piece of paper for you. You see, it's Z Ratsalah. At least that's how I think it's pronounced. I'm not very good with these old languages. I mean, this area was, as I understand from the temple, once were the grounds of a very ancient civilization of the Olman. But their words, somewhat hard to pronounce. But that's what where Coatalaco has come from, or so they say. I don't verify. I just hear and retell.
That sounds very fascinating. I don't suppose you would tell us where you heard this story from. I would certainly like to know more.
Well, several adventurers tend to come through here with, I'm going to have to say, treasure on the brain, looking for a quick score. And I've heard on more than one occasion that the temple there, on the hills just above, holds an ancient secret, and again of the vampire god Zatzalah. But no one ever seems to figure out a way in or out, and I've never heard of anyone making it there, and certainly not making it out. But it could just be folklore, and people love their legends.
Aye, they do.
Wait. So some other temple has information on this stone temple of the vampire god?
No, travelers travelers have come through.
Okay.
Sorry for the confusion.
Okay.
But your rooms have been ready, and your food is coming right up, so if you need anything else, please just let us know. And if you happen to find any interesting stories, or if you make it to this temple, you let me know. Willow Rush loves a good tale. Loves a good tale. Sometimes gives some good tale. She winks and smiles down at Elton.
Aye.
So you go to your table, you have your food, you've got your rooms, you've heard some stories. What do you want to do?
It's just after noon, right?
Yeah.
And Amzar seemed to think that it was close enough to get there and back within an hour or so.
Sounds about right.
So it would be, and that this would be like an afternoon job kind of thing, or that was what I was kind of wondering.
It sounds like you could do this, in and out, easily within an afternoon. Well, easily within a day, but yeah, probably within the afternoon. He said it was, hour or so away.
Say we.
One would imagine that.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, one would imagine if this is an expansion mine, that it's well traveled. So obviously they can get in and out fairly quickly.
So we eat up. We stash some our extras in the rooms and get geared up for going.
Sounds good to me.
Alrighty.
Okay.
As long as we can keep Sandra from drinking too much during lunch. Pelgrim.
Y'all let me know when y'all are ready to go.
I'm ready now.
Ready,
I
check.
think we're good.
All right. So you wander back over to you cleaned up, got your stuff in the room, and wander back over to the temple and get with Amzair, and y'all tell him that y'all are ready to go. All right. Well, I'm glad that you have offered to help us with our services. So let me take you over to the mine.
Lead the way.
That lady at the inn was so overcome with gratitude that we were going to clear the mine and help her business that she offered to cover the whole expense of the trip or our stay here.
Did she now? And Willow Rush is giving away free rooms? That's so unlike her. Roll me a deception check. Well, I'll be. Stranger things have happened. The whole stay. I'll have to thank her.
But she said if she asks you about it in front of people, that you gotta, she's gotta keep up appearances. So you gotta go along and say that you're doing it so that other patrons don't get thinking that this is normal.
It's oddly specific and overly complicated, but okay.
She seems like an oddly specific and overcomplicated type of gal.
That's one way to put it. All right. 1 second. I mean, this is...
Are we off?
Oh, it's wonderful. This is one of those, hey, not the best map.
Theater of the mind.
Theater of the mind.
So where are we? This place is interesting looking.
Reminds me of a spider cave we might have been in.
We should probably burn this one to the ground too.
Not a bad plan.
Smoke out whatever the problem is.
Here we go. Dazzle.
We cannot control that again.
All right, 1 second. Damn it.
One day Roll20 won't suck.
Well, it's because when you go between pages, if you didn't have the right token assigned to it... 1 second.
Right, I'm just saying one day they'll have that, not be such a hassle.
All right, I think I've got that taken care of. All right, so can you move Dazzle?
Yes.
All right. Eldon. Thongrum. All right. 1 more second.
Is this our guide on the screen?
Yeah, that would be Amzair.
Is he geared up to go in with us?
He may take some convincing. All right.
Is he geared up?
Good question. He does appear to be armored up, and yes, he does appear to be geared up. All right. So you come across this. He leads you up the road, and you come to this cave where you can see that explosives have been set out. You see the trash from general workers, and you can peer into the cave somewhat, and you see that there are some torches, which I will put out so everybody can see kind of what's been happening. Because not all of the workers are gnomes, so they don't all have the dark vision.
That was a big torch.
Very big torch. All right, so you got some torches that are kind of illuminating the area. So you can see into it. Amzair has taken you up to it. As you can see here, the cave is still in its infancy. As we were exploring, our people had found some small ores of mithril amongst the debris through the bombing. So we felt that this was a good area. But as they were getting into it, they saw that there was some loosened earth, and they told me that they found this creature. They awoken it from its slumber, and apparently it had started getting extremely hungry. And they decided that they didn't want to go back to work until that was taken care of.
Well, are we ready to... Are you coming in with us?
Well, I mean, you did take up the contract. I mean, I'll back you up. I'll be right. Yes, I'll be right behind you.
Did they say what kind of creature it was?
All they said, it was kind of a largish thing. They had this. They kept putting their hands together like big mandibles.
Now you say big mandibles. Are these gnomes making big mandibles, or are these human-sized people making big mandibles?
Well, I mean, the gnomes that were talking about, the only frame of reference I've got were the gnomes and their wee arms. They were making this big kind of open-armed, pinchy motion. So they seemed to think it was fairly large.
Well, I guess we go in and look around.
All right.
Sounds like a plan.
And as we go, I'm going to cast that on Thongrum, Fiona, and Corin.
All right. So you guys have 5 temporary hit points, or is that? No, that's not temporary. That's hit point maximum.
Yeah, they can actually heal those hit points.
Gotcha. Okay.
But they're all boosted, so they can get a green dot. Since that's health on this screen, green dot.
All right. So
That's 8 hours.
You said Cor and Raz, and who was the third?
Cor and Siona and Thongrim.
Oh, sorry. Not for you, Raz.
Nope.
Raz, you and I can... Let's let them...
All right.
Yeah. We'll coast in the back.
We'll hang back with the horse.
Alrighty, so who's going in first? Not all at once.
I can.
Alrighty. So as Thongrim walks in, he notices the obviously the typical mining structures, and just looks and nods like, yeah, it looks like they've got this. Know what they're doing when they're building mines. Seems secure and sturdy. So you get in, you see that there is some loose earth here and there. Apparently there are some piles being thrown against the wall. Not being thrown, having been thrown against the wall. Random tools have been they seem sturdy enough. The random tools have been scattered here and there as people have been rushing away in haste. So
Hello!
you hear a little bit of a rumble in response to your greeting.
Hello!
Well, so much for that stealth check.
All right. So as you enter in, you get you start feeling the earth rumble a little bit, and roll initiative, please.
So can we position?
Yes.
So Siona, are you going to be farther up?
The second one was supposed to be for the horse.
It is for the horse.
Yeah, it got it.
Oh, okay.
It just took whatever your drop-down list at the bottom right on the chat screen. Thongrim, what's your dexterity?
You ask good questions. 14.
You go first.
Jesus Christ.
So this thing...
What do we see?
So, emerging from the ground, you see this large monstrosity burrowing out of the ground with this huge carapace, two big beady eyes surrounded by these gargantuan mandibles around its mouth. In its, fairly, grotesque insectoid, humanoid figure, you see these big striking claws. You see some antennae peering up from the top of its head in the dim light. Siona gets a very distinct feeling that this is an evil creature.
Got something evil coming our way.
Something wicked this way comes.
Giggity.
All right, 1 second. Eldon, did your guy not?
No, I can control myself. I just need
Okay,
to-
all right. Oh, I got you. All right, so in the rear of this cave, you see this gargantuan thing, and it looks like it is hungry. And it appears to be staring directly at you, Thongrum.
I will throw a rage, move right here, and just ready in action in case he gets closer.
Okay. Give me just a second. I need to do something. All right. So what are you readying?
Melee attack.
Okay. This one's a new one to me, so I apologize. All right. So this thing reaches up and looks at you very hungrily and makes a beeline to you. Because it is looking at you. I need you... Hang on. Never mind. It's... Hold that thought. So it comes up to you, and it makes, with its... it takes a mighty roar and reaches out and makes 3 attacks at you. A 9, which is a miss, with a claw, a 13, 12, which 12 is a miss for you, right?
12 is a tie.
Okay, 12 is a hit then. All right.
I immediately say, Thongrum, duck! And I do a cutting words.
So that's going to miss because anything more than a 1 is going to do it. A 26 will be a hit with its mandibles. So 2 claws reach out, swipe, and both of them miss, and he then rears back and bites down with his mandibles for 14 slashing damage, which you will take 7. Dazzle's turn. Now, Dazzle will need to make a charisma saving throw.
Wait, isn't it my turn?
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah, he is within range. Yeah, go ahead and take a strike at it. The first one hits, the second one does not. Hey, by the way, I learned a neat little trick about Roll20. You can do simple math in the circles, so if you just put in plus or minus a number, it'll automatically adjust it that way, if you did not already know that.
Oh, like +2 or +3?
Yeah, or -8, for instance. All right. So that was your reaction. Got it. Dazzle needs to roll a DC. Needs to roll me a charisma saving throw.
Hang on, I'll get closest sheet.
Okay.
And managed to leave the game.
She's got like 4,000 tabs open right now.
I know the feeling.
Come back.
We were just kidding. He died. And she's back.
What am I rolling?
A charisma saving throw.
Okay.
Well, Dazzle does not save, and you get the feeling.
Wait, why did Raz? Oh, I'm looking at the. It scrolled me all the way up. Sorry.
Ah.
Okay.
So Dazzle gets the feeling as he looks towards this hulking creature, and looks at it and is just gets this far off look in his eyes, as if, but when he's looking into the eyes of this creature, he's just confused. And on this turn, Dazzle does nothing. Eldon, it is your turn. And you too. Are you looking at the creature?
Well,
Which
I suppose so.
I assume that you are. I need you to roll a charisma saving throw.
Is this charisma saving throw against magic? Or
No. Well, yes. Yes.
it is?
I will say it is magic. Yes.
I have advantage, though.
Very good.
This one.
Well, Eldon, you successfully you have saved. You get the feeling as you're looking towards it that something is happening, but you are able to resist it and are able to proceed as you would.
I'm noticing this from the eyes of this beast.
If you were looking at it, you notice something is odd about it.
Okay.
But you would also get the feeling that if you looked away, you may not. That may help.
Okay. unexpected. So, okay, I will look to my party and I think I will bless them. And I think at this point I will upcast it, and so I will actually bless all of it. All except the horse, apparently.
Okay.
Using that. So that lets me target 5. There we go.
Oh.
And that is alright. And I will try and say, try to keep your eyes away as from its eyes, and that will be where I will I'll move to just in front of the one. Okay, now I can't move my character. Hold on. Oh, got it. I will move to there.
All right. I forgot to add the other gnome to the turn order.
Oh, he was out. I thought he was staying outside the cave.
He said he was right behind you.
Oh, okay.
I'll get us back to the right position.
So I'm basically saying, try not to look straight at him.
All right. Is that your turn?
I believe so.
All right. Red dots mean you're blessed. Corian,
right.
you are up.
Taking his warning, I will cast Fog Cloud.
Well, are you looking at him?
No, Eldon just warned me.
Okay, so you're not looking at him.
No, I'm just casting Fog Cloud, which is a 20-foot radius. And I will cast it on Thongrim as the center.
Will that follow Thongrim, or is this just here?
It's just a cloud, 20-foot, what's that say, sphere. So I can draw that. There we go. One of these buttons is a sphere. I'll draw that in a second. And my turn is then I will move to there. Let me finish drawing this though. And I'm done.
Okay, so fog cloud. Let me read that one quick.
We did that before. What would?
Basically, if you're in the fog, you're blind, and they're blind, so nothing happens. If you're outside the fog cloud, you get advantage because you're attacking a blinded creature.
As long as you can properly identify who's who in the cloud.
Rules is written, there's no problem doing that, but I think we decided we had some ruling on it.
Yeah.
I think you said we could discern shapes.
Yes, but not necessarily what.
Although I'm pretty sure between Thongrim and the giant lumbering
Well, one might think. All right.
So if you're in the cloud, though, you're considered blinded.
Okay. Raz, you are up, and were you looking? I'm assuming you were looking at. Well, you were looking at the creature before that happened. So.
Yeah, that's safe to say.
All right. So since we're doing that, and you are able to wait, yeah, you can't see him because of the way the cloud is. You only see the shapes. Right.
But I think it's safe to say I could see him before, if that makes some difference.
Yeah, this cloud makes things weird. Yeah, I remember it being weird the last time we did it.
Anything you want me to roll?
Since we're going with the fact that you couldn't see it outside of shapes because of the cloud, then I'm going to say you can't see it. Yeah. So we're gonna be good right now.
Okay. But I can still do range targety stuff with some kind of thing?
Yes, but we're going to say he does have some cover since it's not a straight shot. You've got Siona and... Well, you've got some shapes in the way.
Okay, that's fair. I listen to Eldon, but I kind of put him out of my brain because this voice in my head, this sort of nightmarish voice says, "Do it. Now is the time." And I give a quick nod, and I put up my hand in the shape of horns, and I whisper the magical incantation, which is the word Dio, and I cast Hex.
Dio can definitely hear you.
And with the horns up, this strange green energy emanates from my pointer finger and builds and builds and builds and launches like a tiny beam at the larger of the objects in the cloud. And I cast Eldritch Blast.
Okay.
With whatever cover.
Okay, it is a miss, but you are also blessed. That is a miss.
Technically, you have advantage on it because he's blind.
That's still a miss.
Okay.
Just barely, but a miss.
An 18 is a miss.
Because of the
Cover.
not cleared line, because of the cover.
And then a second beam starts crackling off of my pinky finger, still giving the horns, and I cast a second blast.
That is a hit. $14?
Yep, straight damage plus the 1+5 hex damage.
You hear this guy just as he is smacked with this. Sienna, you're on deck. Anything else from you, Raz?
I think I'll move back 10 feet and I'm done.
Okay.
I don't think you get a second attack on that.
It's cantrip.
But it's a warlock cantrip.
I am a
Right.
warlock.
You're a first level warlock.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it's at 5th level. EB is 2 beams.
I know, but I'm saying is I think it uses the class that can cast it. You're a first level warlock, fifth character level.
Yeah, 5th character level gets 2 beams. It's all.
Oh, you're right. Right, it is. You're right. Cantrips are character level. I thought they were class level. This changes everything.
Yeah, spell slots not for sure, but yeah.
Wow. That's nice.
Yeah.
I might need to take me a damage cantrip then.
Siona, you are up.
Okay, I'm gonna move to where I last saw the creature. Before the fog cloud came out.
Okay. And you were blind. So I'm going to say disadvantage on the attacks.
Even though flanking?
Yes. Flanking.
Technically, the way it works is she has disadvantage for being blind. He
Yeah.
has, and then she gets advantage for him being blind, so it cancels out.
Yeah. And so, yeah. And straight up.
Fog cloud is weird.
Yeah. That is a hit.
I'm gonna go ahead and use Divine Smite. So
He is not undead or a fiend. Nice. A perfectly average roll.
oh, and I get to hit him again. Because I'm level 5.
Nice rolls.
13.
Why is there a yellow box?
I'll go ahead and smite him again. To make up for the lack of smiting thus far.
By all means, smite away, O mighty smiter. Not so good
Yep.
rolls that time.
And I will stay where I am.
Amziara's turn. And what does he do? He's going to rush in as fast as he can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And do that's all he can do. Mr. Thongrim, you are up. So do you want to take the 28 or the 28?
The gnat and a gnat?
Plus
Crit.
2?
Plus 3.
Is it 3 now for rage?
Yeah. I think it's PB.
I'm so fancy. I can't remember if rage goes up 1, but it's at least 2. I'll look that up after I do this roll.
It is plus 3 now. Oh, no, it's not. Never mind. That's proficiency. No, it's plus 3 at 9th level.
What was it? Ah, it sucks. Damn.
Damn indeed. You can see.
Plus 2 on that too.
Well,
Did that just go?
Turns out level 5 is quite the power boost.
yes, it is. That's why we're doing some other things to figure out where what the new normal is. So, Thongrim, you have been swinging around in the dark and just blasting away with your great axe. And this last swing comes through, and you hear this chunk, just and you try to pull your axe away. And as you're pulling it, you feel that whatever the creature was has gone limp and has fallen to the ground. And you're still trying to pry your thing away, but you get the feeling that the creature has met a quick demise with your axe stuck in part of its carapace. And you have defeated this creature.
Shut it down, boys. We're heading home.
Amzir's like, what's going on? Why? What's going on here? Did you get it?
Magic fog be gone.
I'm not sure I can dismiss that. Oh, no, it was concentration. Okay, I dismiss it.
Oh, sorry. Do you have wind?
He's just blowing as hard as he can.
There's a lot of hot air.
Thongrim's got it.
I dismiss the fog cloud.
I can't seem to select the blue circle of fogginess. Hey, there we go. What? Well, that was quick. How? What is that thing?
Nature. Yeah. What would we know of it?
Who's got the best nature check?
I don't anymore. I feel a little befuddled looking at nature anymore.
I mean, I got an okay one.
Anybody better than 2?
No, I've got a 2.
I can issue guidance on someone.
I've got a +2 as well, so I'm equal.
Roll away then.
So we can help each other. Does that give us advantage? And then
Yeah, so
And
you
then-
can roll both times.
and then
Well,
It doesn't matter.
yeah, that's good enough. So, you look at it and you've identified this thing as an Umber Hulk. It's an abominable horror from deep beneath the earth, as they are known to burrow and survive in cave complexes, dungeons, and other underdark settlements in search of food. Those lucky enough to survive an Umber Hulk attack often remember precious little of the incidents thanks to the Umber Hulk's mind-scrambling gaze. So,
would there be more than one of these? Would we know? Is it chance that they keep digging, they'll find more of these, or are they?
I would say it's possible, but from what you can tell, you don't see any other inklings of one.
And we were paid to kill this one.
Yes, we've taken care of this one, Amzir, but it looks like something that you might have to deal with again.
Well, this certainly, he looks at you and says, yeah, I see the dead corpses of several smaller animals and cave creatures. Luckily, all of my people made it out safe, but, I mean, if this particular battle is anything to go for, this should be a piece of cake. We may have over promised our reward, but a deal is a deal.
It is.
So it turns out smoking them out would have been also an acceptable solution.
You don't pay somebody for turning the screw. You pay somebody for knowing which screw to turn, sir.
Aye, that is a very good phrase. Did we screw the right turn? Strike that. Reverse it. Turn the right screw.
Well, you definitely know what you're up against now, so maybe knowing is half the battle.
Ah, yes, indeed.
I always like to say, when you hire us, you always get screwed right.
And no refunds.
Alrighty then. So, do y'all want to do anything with the corpse of this lumbering Hulk?
I'm good.
Untrim, you find anything you like there? Are there any magical properties about the creatures, like eyes or something like that, or is that a psychic thing? Don't do that.
Well, he can try all he wants.
Yeah,
It's not going to be successful, but he could try.
And no, you can't ask me to do it for you.
So, yeah, it appears to be something innate to the creature itself. So, yeah, something psychic in nature. If Thongram's going to do that, I mean, you can roll an Arcana check and we'll see what happens.
He misses his horse.
Oh.
Wait, do I have inspiration? I have a red dot.
No, you
That's
don't
a
have
bliss.
it.
That's not inspiration.
Oh, son of a...
Just because it's green doesn't mean I'm gonna let it happen.
It still would have been funny.
It would have been
You'd have to
hysterical.
Have the battle all over again with an undead version of it.
Yes, but what we'll say is you wave your hands around on your whole mumbo jumbo. Arise, minion, and allow me to ride you into battle. And you just see the antenna flick just a little bit. You're not sure if it was a death spasm or if you might have tapped into some arcane thread. But you're pleased with yourself nonetheless.
I feel like that kid in the Darth Vader commercial for Volkswagen.
I whisper to Raz, "Hey, go make that thing move around."
I do have an invisible mage hand.
That's what I was saying.
I'm not Raz, though.
Oh. Corin has it, sorry. Corin. Go make that thing move around for him.
I cast prestidigitation on its antenna thing and just make the wind float around.
We'll humor you a little bit, Thongrim.
It's still alive, smash it!
That's a hit. You have disconnected the antenna from the carapace.
So is that fight supposed to last longer? Or is that our figure out how strong we are now fight?
It was a little bit of... It was supposed to last a little longer and also meant to kind of figure out where things are. Unfortunately, I still don't know where things are.
Yeah, please don't take Siona smiting with every attack as the norm.
Because, yeah, she can only do that so many times a day, right?
One spell slots. She burned 2 first level spells to do that.
Yeah, roll double 11s on a d12 after 2 crits. That's
Yeah, that was... Now,
I expected it to be a little harder, too, so it's, up-leveled a lot of stuff. So.
Well, honestly, it should have been a hell of a lot harder. But the fog cloud kind of went a long way to nerf part of it, and then the gargantuan swings that y'all did. So yeah, this was a little bit of a test run, not wholly, not disappointing. I'm glad that we know. So next time, I'm probably going to overcompensate and kill you all, but it will be on accident.
We'll be up against 10 of those. So
Yes.
I got more fog clouds.
Well, they can go underground too. I don't know. We'll see. It was fun. It was different. So back to Thongrim says GTFO. Do y'all agree?
Is there any loose mithril just lying around the ground? Something I could pocket without anyone noticing?
Or, you mean?
Yeah, they said they saw some on the outside. Is how they found this place. So that's what there's a little nugget I could grab.
Oh, please.
I will turn to Amzair and kind of walk outside and say, "Come with me for a second. I want you to explain how you discovered these mines."
All right, so we'll deal with that in just a second. Roll me a perception check, please, Corin. You look around and you don't see... you see some rocks and everything, some that glint in the firelight, but it looks like those are just typical. They're not mithril. But for what it's worth, you missed the roll by 1.
I figured as much. If only I had been well, wait a minute. I'm still blessed.
Yeah, well,
last press on a save, though.
I haven't stopped concentrating. Well, it lasts a minute, so as long as
I would have needed guidance for that, not bless.
Yeah. So.
Oh, right.
Don't you ever touch me anymore, Eldon?
He misses your subtle, gentle touch. All right, so Raz is out there pulling Amzir aside. Yes, you wanted to know about how we found these mines?
I look back towards Corin, fumbling through the rock walls, and I go, "Yeah, couldn't think of anything I'd possibly want to know more."
I'm just gonna look at him and shrug.
But perhaps that's a story for time at a tavern. That's, it's. I'm a little weary from that long battle.
That was a long battle? Wow.
I was joking, of course.
Oh.
About the battle and wanting to know more. Yes, perhaps we should move on.
I see. Well, if you're in town for a while, I'd be happy to get a brew with you. I do love our ale, so... As a matter of fact, I do have a couple of barrels waiting for you back at the temple.
That sounds refreshing.
Speaking of the temple?
And it sounds like there's plenty to do in this town, so we may be here a little while.
So you follow Amzir back to the town, and you get there, and you enter into the temple, and with much praise and adulation, Amzir announces that the small minor incident at the expansion mine has been taken care of, and there is much applause from the people in the temple. They are happy and quite pleased with your effort and heroics. As I promised, payment for small miners. I get it. You hear in the back, I love laughter. So, as promised, you get...
we don't serve miners here.
We're at the tavern or
Someone had to say it eventually.
All right, I'm going to type some things out. Hang on.
You want to just add them to the stash?
Yeah.
I think that was the plan. Everything goes in the stash till we need it.
I think the big bag becomes the little bag, and the little bag becomes easier to carry.
I'm going to throw this out there, and y'all figure out what the hell y'all want to do with it.
40 gold piece each? Oh. Yay, rubies. So how much can one of those hold? Hello?
Open up the dungeon master's guide and find out.
I'll tell you in just a second.
I don't have mine open, so okay.
It can hold up to 500 pounds, not exceeding a volume of 64 cubic feet. The bag itself weighs 15 pounds, regardless of its contents. Retrieving an item from the bag requires an action. If it is overloaded, pierced, or torn, it is ruptured and destroyed, and its contents are scattered throughout the astral plane. If the bag is turned inside out, its contents spill forth unharmed, but the bag must be put right side in before it can be used again. Plenty of fun things that you can do with this, but it is recommended that you do not try to place another bag of holding inside the bag of holding, or bad things may happen.
And putting people inside is also...
People
You will suffocate after a while.
After 10 minutes. 10 minutes divided by the number of creatures.
It's plenty of time for everyone to get in the bag and one person smuggle us all somewhere.
What's in the bag? All right, so as promised, that is what you have earned from this encounter. Good job, good job. Applause.
Go us.
Go Team Venture.
So I guess we should go inquire about taking on that second job?
So that took us the afternoon. So it's the travel time and the encounter time was short, but
Well, saying it took you roughly an hour to get there, approximately 10 seconds to finish the damn thing, and another hour to get back. So you're looking at early afternoon.
okay.
I mean, that battle lasted around 1.1 rounds. So
do we want to go talk to the guy again, or do we want to call it a night? And, let Siona get her spells, smites back.
Well, yeah, I think we should go talk with him and see about arranging time tomorrow to the next day to tour his facilities and maybe determine what they might need.
Yeah, it sounds pretty easy to go to his place and be like, yeah, you need more guard towers, and you need this and that.
Yeah, but it does still seem a little fishy, so...
It does. I'm not sure why he thinks we'd be good at planning the defense of something.
well, you got Thongrim, who said he's an armorer. He may have had some assumed that there was some experience there.
Turns out the secret to defending yourself is to use swords. But I mean, this one, it sounds easy, but I'm skeptical. But yeah, let's go talk to him and at least get the ball rolling, because will we get 100 gold out of that? It's not gonna cover Thongrim's drinking. Even though we did get one night drinks for him.
Yeah, well, and don't forget, you've got 4 gallons of ale there, too.
I know, I said one night of drinking.
Oh, yeah, well, there you go. Yeah, true, very true. He's calling you a lush.
Save some for us, Thong.
Factually accurate.
Okay, so what are y'all doing?
I guess we're gonna go back to the temple and see if what's his face is still in there, Reinhardt.
Yes. Well, y'all are already in the temple, so because Amzir paid you your fee or your reward, and announced that your presence is there, and you do see Reinhardt, who's come striding in from the back, saying, "Well done, our new friend. Your first day into town, and you've already solved a problem for us. Our new minds can be open and ready for business. All thanks to you. Now, I say that's a good enough job interview if you ask me. You come in and clearly know how to swing a sword, or it looks like an axe. I'll call that an axe. So, have you come to reconsider what we discussed earlier?
I believe we have.
Well, very good. We can. Would you care to come look at the arrangements? We see that it's still mid-afternoon. There's plenty of time left in the day.
Let me confer with my group to see if we want to do this today or tomorrow. I walk back to. So, guys, we want to go out there right now, or do we want
I'm feeling feisty.
Yeah, I just feel like we just barely got warmed up.
to? All right, well, Raz, go talk to the guy. You're the face here, not me.
So I walk up to him. Wait, what's his name again?
Reinhardt.
Reinhardt Benekitz. Mr. Benekitz, yes, good to see you again. Well, we've dealt with the business in the expansion mine, and I believe I know a little bit more about your expedition here. Perhaps, I suppose we'll take you up on your contract after all. Again, I feel like it would behoove you to reveal any information you have on possible security concerns as you become aware of them. But nonetheless, we will take you up on your offer.
Oh, very, very good.
Offer being the descript word here. What would you say you're offering for this job?
Well, interesting that you ask. Let's see here. Because that I did not prepare in advance.
Well, perhaps we can discuss the terms of our contract and negotiate on the way there. Yeah?
Well, we've got a mighty. I'll give you a general idea, shall we? It looks as though we have some precious artifacts and such that will be worth approximately 750 gold, and a couple of other things. What they may be, why I'll ruin the surprise.
Yeah, I'm not one for surprises, but a good start with the money. Well, I believe we are ready to undertake this whenever you are.
How far away is this mine?
You can't hear me because it's muted. You can't. It's right over the hill. It's not too far from here. It's. I mean, it's our primary mine. We go there all the time. It's, say, about an hour, less than an hour away by walking. We're right here. We'll just hand wave it away. It's almost like we're going to be teleported there. Well, as you can see here, we have some 10-foot walls around our mine, and as he knocks on the gate, they undo the bars behind it and let you in through the gates. So y'all are all on the inside.
Well, first things first, you're all dead. Because there was no secret password or acknowledgement, and I don't see anything. So the first time some random person knocks, you're all dead.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. Those are good notes.
First tip is free.
Isn't that what she said? Laughter! Ha ha!
Ah, double entendre.
I'm sorry, what? I double what?
Never mind that, but yes, Thorngrim was perfectly accurate. Seems you're far too trusting of company here.
Well, you can see that our guard here on one of our towers that you can barely see due to its camouflage, right here, was able to look out and see. We have a few yurts. In the center is our Mithril mine, where we have been able to collect several pallets of Mithril packaged and ready to go here. We have another guardhouse right here. And a few of our Aarakocra brothers are also here guarding the camp. As well as one of our gnome warriors.
Which is the mine?
This thing.
So the mine is just right on the surface.
Okay, my artistic skills are not the best, but yeah.
The quarry.
That's a quarry. There you go.
Ah,
Is it a quarry? Like, is it they're digging into the earth,
Yes.
like downward?
Yeah. So, what do you say? It looks like we've got some things pretty shored up. We've never had a breach with our bird companions flying, keeping watch, and our two guard towers who can keep a lookout at along the paths leading into our little encampment.
So, quick question on that south wall, on the cliff. Is that a cave or a mine that goes inside there, or is that just a graphical thing?
It's just a graphical thing. Honestly, I didn't
Right
notice
there.
it. I didn't notice it beforehand.
Okay.
Otherwise, I might have actually tried to use it. I just assumed it was part of the wall. Whoops.
Well, as a person who looks for sneaky ways in, I'm going to assume we've walked the whole path by now. Your walls do not quite go up to that cliff on the south area, and someone could easily sneak up using that little ridge as cover. Your guardhouse would never see them.
Ooh. I see. He's busily jotting down these notes in his notepad. Mm-hmm.
But you might want to extend the wall all the way to that ridge line and put something up over there. Maybe extend it out to that path some.
Which path?
The western path, or your guardhouse looks. You might just want to have the wall go all the way down to where that ridge meets it down there. Yes.
Yes. That's a good point.
Same thing with that north cliff. Easy places to sneak in at.
Very good.
maybe line this wall up to here.
Okay. Very good. What else do you have? And I'm gonna drag you two into the wall. Oh, and you too. Very good notes. Very good notes. Do you have any suggestions for our feathery friends? They do have a small little nest area in this tree here, right there. It's a small nest for them to perch in.
Is it up high above the wall, so they can see out over the wall, or?
It is. It's at the top of that fuzzy-looking tree.
Any place that gives them best visibility out into what could be coming.
Now, I had been considering some war machinery because I like my gadgets, like a trebuchet, or maybe one of those big arrow guns things.
Who exactly are you afraid is going to come steal your stuff?
How much would all that will be valued at?
Which value?
This mithril, how much would what's sitting there be valued at?
Quite a bit. Quite a bit. Now you're eyeing it, and you'd say it would probably take, just to get a gauge of the weight of it, it'd probably take 2 people to manually move those pallets. One second. I'm sorry, I missed that. Go ahead.
So you're concerned that that someone will be able to come in and overtake your men and load up this and leave with it.
Yes, you can never be too careful.
And so the way we came, there's not really much between us and between this camp and the town. What's out to the west?
Well, out to the west, just the Badlands.
And
Roll.
Is that you would expect that?
Somebody roll me an insight check.
Insight. Who has good insight?
Let's see.
I mean, I have 3 right now.
Looks like it's going to be Siona.
Siona, you get the feeling that this guy has no clue what the hell he's talking about. Yeah. Is looking for somebody to try to just affirm the decisions, poor they may have been, but affirm that his decisions have been good.
It looks really secure here. I don't know that you need war machines. I think what you've done is sufficient. Maybe the wall changes they suggested earlier.
You look at him. He seemed a bit disappointed to hear that his dreams of maybe getting this war machinery may not make it through the approval meetings without your consent. But he's like, he nods along that the wall changes may be a good idea.
Maybe some more raised platforms for crossbowmen, and for they called Arakoa. What are the birds?
I've been pronouncing it as Aarakocra, but I could be wrong.
Aarakocra? I have no idea.
I don't know.
Probably going off WoW.
It's
WoW
so
has
close
birds.
to a WoW race, it's hard. It's hard to keep them straight.
I've never actually heard it pronounced, so I don't know.
But yeah, just some more, raised platforms to see over the wall.
Maybe not keep all this mithril out in the open. Maybe take it back to the city.
We were planning on moving that along. It's like I said, our our carts should be along any time now to start packaging this up and moving it back to town for further processing to the church.
As you can see, I have now rendered your bird army obsolete.
That is very good. As he looks at the others, are you sure? Good job, Mr. Dorf.
Tongram, I'm probably going to need that cloak back before we leave.
You'll have to take it up with the scarecrow.
Well, to be fair, I don't see any crows. So it must be working.
And there's your
This is
scarecrow.
probably extremely racist.
You did, was about to mention, you see a couple of the two birds closest to you guys within earshot are kind of cutting their eyes at you. You know, their feathers are kind of rustling a little bit.
Lowercase t for time to go home.
So, what was that?
I was just going to say in character, hey, all this mithril that you got here that you processed, I assume you're doing the naturally smart thing, and when you're carrying it back to Coatalaco, the Ecleros, they're scouting ahead, right, to make sure there's no highwaymen on the road.
Oh, of course. We check everybody's eyes to make sure that they have two good working eyes and that they can see properly, yes.
Yeah, not quite what I was referring to. More making sure, like, hey, when you're going back north, I think it's north, right? Coatalaco.
Yeah.
When you're heading back north with all this, shiny, uncommon, processed ore, that a couple miles ahead of you, there's not a bunch of bandits ready to just snatch it right up from you. You do that, right?
Oh, yes, we have scouted that road before, and it was quite clear when we made it to this area. But it's only right down the road. I mean, we should be able to hear them and see them before anything comes. But we do routinely check at least once every week.
Yeah, about that. I'm gonna need you to. If you're shipping it like on Saturday, I'm gonna need you to come in on Saturday. Okay. Basically, you're gonna need to check that road every time the Mithril goes back to town. It's gonna be the one day that you're not. That's when they're gonna hit you hard.
But every day? Think about the overhead. How much time and money that's gonna be? It's worked well so far.
I imagine it's less than losing a load of mithril.
I see.
And you do have some helpful, Eric Cochran here who can fly and make that scouting pretty easy.
He looks
you got
at
here, what? That's an hour to get here?
Yeah. He looks at you and goes, "You have a good point." And he looks at the birds going, "Why didn't you think of this?" And they kind of make what you assume is like this sheepish gesture, like, it's extra work. We just work here. As much as you can imagine that of a bird-like creature making that kind of shrugging symbol. So,
Well, I feel like we've offered some good basic security advice for you today. I do hope that you take it to heart and implement as soon as it's capable for you.
well, but of course. So yes, let's take this and let's take these notes and take it to the council and make sure that we can implement these things in good measure. And he starts to walk you back towards the gate. As you get to the gate, the guard down here, right there, he was on top of the guard tower. He starts yelling and announcing an alarm. Because of course he does. It was over on, from the west, a band of things starts running towards the campsite. And
Things, you say?
yes, the dreaded things.
And possibly stuff.
Hope there's not numbers of things.
Stuff and junk, mind you.
Everyone, prepare yourselves. We have things, stuff, and junk on the way.
And suddenly a bunch of initiative.
Whole bunch of initiative. So, you...
Which one is that?
So the human guard is yelling and making alarm saying, there are orcs and goblins and I don't know what that thing is, but there's something out on the hills there and they are coming this way.
Well, good luck with that.
It's coming right for us.
It's coming right for us, man! You hear some orcish horns that sound like a typical cavalry.
How tall are the walls?
What's it? They are 10 feet.
10 feet.
And the birds were all happened to be on the ground at the time. So it appears that something is happening, and I would say this is a good time to roll initiative, and maybe a good time to call the session after initiative is rolled. Alright, I think I've got everybody. Y'all have all done y'all stuff?
Yep.
Alright. So, that said, you see that as you've come down here, there has been a band of misfits who have come down to apparently raid the town, or raid the mine. You get the guard has called out that he sees several archers, goblin archers, several orcs, or orc-type creatures, and some red-skinned orc that is. He called out to say, I don't know what that thing is, but it looks orcish in nature. And we will call the session here because it is 9:15, and this combat looks different than the last one.
What, you don't think we can take care of this in one round?
I certainly hope not. But stranger things have happened.
If we had Quinn, he'd have Fireball by now, and we could take him out in one round. But none of us have that.
Oh, well. Really have.
All right. Anything y'all want to do before this, before we end, prior to this?
I'm good with the...
I mean, how obligated are we to stay and defend this place?
Well, the gate is closed.
You're
So
not.
yeah, the condition is all the gates are closed and walls are all up, and there's no like breaks in that we noticed, or
Not that you noticed, no.
okay.
I mean, taking Raz's passive, as y'all did take a loop around, you didn't notice anything out of sorts. But the gates were closed, so you know that that's happening. And to answer Thungrim's question, you're only as obligated as you want to be. Something for you to consider when we come back. There may be some other implications, one way or the other. But yeah, you are only as obligated as you want to be.
Oh, we haven't been paid yet. It probably is bad form to go fill the bag of holding up with bars of Mithril and then run.
How many pounds is that thing of Mithril?
I honestly don't know.
Mithril is usually considered pretty light, though. We could get all of it.
Well, cubic. What was it?
64 cubic feet. If nothing else, we can hide behind it from the archers.
Well, if a mithril chain shirt weighs about 5 pounds, we could assume one bar
I gotta get me a mithril chain shirt then.
Weighs 5 pounds. I mean, Siona's wearing a mithril something. You ask her how heavy is that?
Much lighter than regular chain.
Weighs half whatever.
So it's lighter than my padded armor?
No, hers is I think 17 pounds, because she had a 35-pound. Oh no, I see.
Still 27.5 because my chainmail was like stupid heavy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was 45. That's what it was.
Yeah, it's not.
It's hard to make padded mithril armor though.
Wait, you're wearing padded armor?
But don't discount padded armor. That stuff's actually pretty effective.
It is, considering it's because I have 8 strength. I have to have something very light to wear. And when padded armor weighs 8 pounds.
I thought you can wear, can't you wear medium?
I can wear medium and heavy, but
You'd fall over.
I'd start having more weight issues than I already have. Heck, if I put all my stuff that's not like worn or weaponry into the bag of holding, I would actually be able to wear more because that I would lighten up.
And apparently in real life, like that kind of padded armor is more effective than leather.
But I lose stealth. Remember, it's corduroy, so I make noise.
It's not noise. It's people are saying it's more that it's you're basically got like 16 winter coats on and you can't move very nimbly.
Why wouldn't I lose dexterity?
Because the game tries to simplify all that.
Yeah, all right.
So I don't think light or medium armor has a strength requirement though. If you wanted to move up to medium,
He just can't carry it.
Yeah, I become encumbered at 40 pounds, 42 pounds.
wow.
All right.
Okay.
Anyway,
So we're going to say that collectively, this stuff is probably worth about, you're eyeballing it between 15 and 20,000 gold.
All right, guys, new plan. We know he doesn't watch the roads. We'll just go wait on the roads.
So
Take all of the hemp and rope and bullshit out of the bag of holding and just dump it and start throwing bars in.
Okay, all right. So in the next session, our party may have an existential crisis.
are we good or are we evil? Okay.
Not existential, just alignment.
Yes, alignment issues are coming.
Says the non-neutral people.
Yes.
The neutral people would just whatever you want to do.
The neutral person who grew up stealing. Yes, I can't take that. It'd be wrong.
Alrighty, so there we go. I don't know if I will ruin the game's economy or not with this action, but that's what we're going with, and we will see what happens.